Good morning, Bucknutters. It is Tuesday, July 19th, 2022. I am Dan Rubin. This is the Bucknuts Morning 5 and change. Those, those of you watching the show on the Twitter, the Book of Face, YouTube, please give us the 5-star review or subscribe, etc. That stuff really helps us. Boy, what an eventful few days that has been on the recruiting trail. Obviously, since last Tuesday when we spoke to Duane, who is here. Duane, how goes it?
Oh, I'm looking at a beautiful sunrise. So the dogs are running in and out. It's a beautiful start to a day.
It does promise to be nice in Ohio for today and through the rest of the week. So there is some positivity there. And Ohio State has had some success on the recruiting trail in the last week, and we will get to that. But the news of the day, or at least yesterday, was Tackett Curtis, linebacker from Many, Louisiana. He made quite a splash here among the Bucknutters with his highlight video we discussed ad nauseum. He became the extreme focus of Jim Knowles early in the recruiting process. However, he whittled it down to a group of 3, Wisconsin, Ohio State, and USC. And yesterday, he chose USC. I wasn't surprised when he actually made the announcement because we had been tipped off, but this recruitment took a turn down the stretch and USC pulled it out. Duane, are you surprised, and how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I am surprised. I thought this kid was, we just had him penciled in here. Good thing we didn't use ink. We just thought for sure he was in this class. He was saying all the right things. He kept coming up here. Brought his, I know his mom and dad, and I think his sister or somebody up for his visit. And usually when they start bringing family along, you can start feeling good about your chances. So yeah, I was a little bit surprised at that. As far as it's disappointment, but it's not a loss, Dan. We're a 2 linebacker team now. We're not going to see 3 linebackers on the field very often. It's mostly going to be 2. And we've got, if you include Sonny Styles as a linebacker, we've got 11 linebackers for 2 spots. No. We got plenty of linebackers, and we just come off this class. Wait till you people see C.J. Hicks. He's going to be special. You got Powers, you got Styles. We're coming off a class that is these guys are going to be good memories for Buckeye fans years from now. They're really good football players. So it's you don't want to any extremely talented kid. You want to get as many as possible, but it was only going to be a plus to get Tackett Curtis.
Yeah, we'll discuss this as when we take questions. I'm sure there's going to be plenty on this, but my concern is they just spent a lot of time recruiting him and didn't get him, so it's wasted resources. Another guy they didn't get that I'll tell you this. I think this is acceptable to say on the airwaves. I said this to Bill Kurlick. Justice Haynes committing to Alabama was the first time this recruiting cycle I felt like I got kicked in the nuts. I was surprised. I was disappointed. I really thought they were going to get Justice Haynes to go with Mark Fletcher. They didn't. And he went to Alabama, which all signs pointed to him going to Georgia, I thought. Well, who knows? It's disappointing. And let's be clear on this. When people choose Alabama, you got to take it with a grain of salt because they are running number 1 right now. There's no argument with that on the recruiting trail and on the field. So disappointing. Your thoughts on Justice Haynes running to Tuscaloosa?
Well, I've been talking about this since this class first started to come together. There were 4 bell cow backs in this class. 4 guys that you could turn around, hand the ball to 25 times a game, and you're probably going to win a lot of football games just on what those guys can do, the impact they have on a game. We had a relationship with 3 of them, and ended up getting none of them. I really wanted Haynes. I wanted Richard Young, um, but Haynes would have been just as good. I mean, he's one of those four. And did we ever even get him on campus? I don't remember. Bill
We did.
Wright
He came up for a visit.
after visit. Well, I really thought that we would have a real shot at him. You know, to come in here behind Henderson and be the next. And after seeing Henderson go high in the draft, yeah, I hate losing. I hate losing him. To me, he's definitely with the depth chart. He's definitely the bigger loss than Tackett Curtis. So
Here's one thing. Yeah.
Very
Here's the one thing I'll say,
disappointed.
Duane.
Hopefully now we can revive things with Richard Young.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but here's one thing I will say. They're not going to get Richard Young, I don't think. Running back is a position I absolutely think you can go into the transfer portal and get someone who's excellent. We haven't necessarily had to do that, but there's no doubt in my mind they could go into the transfer portal and get a guy. I think, we talked about how it's tough to get an offensive lineman to come here because you can't guarantee him a starting spot. With a running back, I think you could get an elite guy to come here and be part of a platoon. And there's some running backs who are late bloomers. That's a weird position. I think there are plenty of guys playing at smaller schools that could come in and do well at Ohio State. Will they be Travion Henderson or Justice Haynes? I don't know, but I do think that's a position they can fortify given the fact they have Fletcher in the mix. All right, let's talk about one more guy who's on the fence here, Caleb Downs. We feel like he's the biggest need among remaining players in some cases. I would actually say probably defensive end Mateo Uiagalelei would be that guy. But Caleb Downs is apparently, according to Steve Wiltfong, favoring Alabama. Shocker. But Ohio State is making a late push. Where would you rank Downs in terms of need compared to your need factor ratings for Curtis and Haynes that you had?
Oh, he's number one. With what we know, excuse me, what we know about Knowles is safeties are very important to his scheme. We are cornerback university. We are not safety university. We have not been producing. We've got Malik Hooker. We've got some guys that have banged around the league for a while, but we have not been producing elite safeties. And the way Knowles runs his defense, we're going to need to produce elite safeties. And getting Downs is one of the best. He and Wonka, what was the kid from Iowa? And
Xavier
last
Wangpa.
year, those two guys are the best safeties we've seen in a few years. Okay, those two. He and Downs and him are two guys that they were just special. So both of them 2 years in a row. We need to get Downs in here. We need to find a way.
Okay, let's talk about something super positive now. Ohio State added Jelani Thurman over the weekend, the tight end from Georgia. This is a guy, what's going on at Georgia to that they let this guy leave the state, and they've had several other guys leave the state. Our guy Jay Book had a tweet about this recently. If you go look at the top 10 players in the state of Georgia, it looks like a advertisement for college football logos from different schools. They're all over the place. This guy, talent-wise, I'd be hard-pressed. Jeremy Ruckert was obviously the most heralded prospect they've gotten at tight end. You're talking about a guy who out at the Elite 11 and was the best player on the field one day. Thurman fits to me, as people know, I'm borderline obsessed now with taking professional athletes' children. And Jelani Thurman is a double whammy. Odell Thurman, you all remember, played at Georgia and was a tremendous linebacker for Cincinnati. And Jelani's mom is Kara Braxton, a dominant big who played Georgia basketball and in the WNBA. So his future is extremely bright, and you can just watch the clips to see it. You're going to get, put it this way, I have Mark Porter's commitment evaluation on Thurman coming later today, and the name Rickey Dudley comes up. Your thoughts on the addition of Jelani Thurman at tight end?
There's no question he's the most athletic kid to come into this program. Makes sense, Rickey Dudley. Yeah, he's as athletic as Rucker was. This kid's another level. He plays the game like an ex-receiver. He's just so big and so athletic, and he can run. And he makes those kind of catches. You don't have to hit him in the chest with it. He is one that could go up and climb the ladder and go get the ball and make those kind of athletic plays that we see out of this elite crop of wide receivers that we have here. I was shocked to hear him coming in, but that's a huge get. Absolutely naked jaunt kid, very special football player.
Yeah, upside wise, you can't have a higher upside at his position. I'm not saying he's Kyle Pitts. I'm not sure he's that kind of twitchy, but you talk about a guy who he's going to add 30 to 40 pounds in the weight room and be able to be in line and split out. The length, everything. Like we said, the athletic pedigree, just a huge pickup. Jelani Thurman and Ty Lockwood in one class. I got to go back and look. Might be their best tight end haul ever. 2 guys in one class. We're going to take a quick break for those listening to the podcast. Come back and tackle your questions. So there'll be some common names coming up here. All right, we are back, and we're just going to take this from the top and take some of it we've probably touched on a little bit. I will handle as many of these as I can and turn to Duane when I need to. Tom Pauly asks, with Tackett Curtis going to USC, who do you think will be our next linebacker target? I think the most likely guy to join the fold is Arvell Reese, linebacker out of Glenville. I think behind closed doors, Ohio State had him ranked higher than Tackett Curtis. Don't tell anybody I said that. Secondly, the guy that I think they're looking at is, I'm looking to my left here so I can read his name. Darian Gillette, linebacker out of Texas. If you look at his profile, which I'm doing right now, he has 3 warm schools, Ohio State, Texas, and Texas A&M. I am told the latter 2 home state schools have a better chance to get him, but we will see. Yisakakar LG, very wonderful poster and asks a lot of questions. Good morning, Dan. Good morning, sir. My question is, how do you think Jim Knowles will be as a recruiter? And I think this is a show me year for our defense. The high school prospects want to see how his defense looks. I think that's a fair statement. It's very hard to judge someone as a recruiter this early in the game. Obviously, his effort to get Tackett Curtis, not fruitful. So that's going to be held against him. But I think it's just a little bit early to judge that. And I think you bring up a really good point there, in that let's see this defense on the field, lest we forget Ohio State's defense did not have a strong showing last year. So you can sell kids on coming in and rebuilding and being the key pieces on the rebuild, but I think you're better off showing them they can really get it done, and that will be next to go. All right. The linebacker haul, Nick Stamen. The linebacker haul last year was pretty amazing. So I think OSU can miss this year, but not miss next year. Duane basically said as much. All right. This is a good point here by KMW. As the old saying goes, winning takes care of a lot of things. Buckeyes start winning with good defensive showing, the recruits will commit. I think that's a fair statement. And like you said, it kind of piggybacks on the statement before that, which is Ohio State was not good on defense. We need to see them do that. Can you recruit guys to say you'll be the reason we rebuild and you're the reason we come back? Yes. But we've seen you're better off just pumping guys into the NFL and going from there. Besides Arvell Reese, what's still on the table at linebacker? Manny Ja. We already answered that. Darian Gillette out of Texas. But Is it possible to trade a wide receiver for a highly ranked offensive tackle? No. Brass tacks. We're not getting Richard Young. Cancel Christmas on that. We're not getting Downs. Alabama money. Everybody's got the money now. I think to say that money swayed someone to go to Alabama. I'm not going to go there. Alabama is undeniably the number one football school right now. I do think Ohio State is pretty undeniably number two, but we'd be foolish to think that people aren't panning back and seeing Alabama as the number one program. They've earned it. Okay. Duane. If Jim Knowles gets safeties that fly like literal silver bullets and take out anything crossing the field or running upfield, we will be set. Delivering the boom heard across the stadium. Given that, are you comfortable with what Ohio State has at safety? Given the fact that this whole team is pretty much based on safety when it comes to defense.
I like what we have right now. I think we got a good collection of guys. Getting Proctor back is huge. At least we got a veteran who can call the defense. This is something you've mentioned before, Dan, about how things were different when Fuller was back there. You know, you didn't see him making a whole lot of big plays. The defensive backfield organized, and that is so having veteran like Proctor is going to help. And we got a young guy that I want to see. I want to see these guys football field.
You knew it was going to happen eventually, people. Duane's technical difficulties kicked in. It looks like he's got about, let's say, 16 and a half minutes of good technical performance, and then we kind of pitch out after that. To finish what he was saying, a cerebral safety in the back is one of the most underrated aspects of a great defense. The NFL certainly didn't know Jordan Fuller well enough. I believe he was a 7th-round draft pick, and I think he's the captain of a Super Bowl winning defense, so pretty strong. Nick Stamen, Fast and Furious today. Proctor, Hickman, and the McAllister going to be great to watch this year. I agree, and I tell you what, I think those three are going to be, not only are they solid football players, I do think all very, very smart players. So I think they're going to pick up on the defense real quickly. And given the fact it's a new system that has the safety thriving, I wouldn't be surprised if those three guys really get off to a nice start too, which is key for a defense to get some momentum early. We saw what happened when Oregon came calling, and your defense can generate some negative momentum. Challenging. We're getting some negativity towards Tony Alford. I get that. Lest we forget, Tony went through some serious criticism with the Bijan Robinson commitment to Texas after we all thought he was coming here, and he backed that up by adding Travion Henderson and Evan Pryor and Mayan Williams, etc. I have no fear in Tony Alford. Running back is a different kind of position. Like I said, I'm very confident they go into the transfer portal and get someone quality. If you look at what, for example, Alabama went in and got Jahmyr Gibbs this year. If Ohio State has an opening, they will be able to fill it with an elite back. I'm confident of that. Running back recruiting has always been kind of goofy. So I agree with Lynn's Breezy. Fire Tony is going too far. That's crazy talk. And I also don't think it's any chance it's going to happen. So that's good for Tony and his financial people. I tell you what, we're going to cut the show off there. We appreciate everybody stopping by. Sorry for those technical difficulties down the stretch. Keep it locked on Bucknuts, people. Mark Porter has done a commitment review and evaluation on Jelani Thurman, and it is impressive. It will be up on the site here in about an hour, let's say 11 a.m. or was it 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right now. It'll be up there about 10 a.m. We appreciate everybody. We appreciate everybody stopping by. Have a great day, Bucknutters.